Hello, good evening. My name is Ajay Balvin Devde. I am from Latur and I am recently completed my BE in Qurize College. And today's video topic is SQL. The all this in this session we can see the concept of the SQL and what is meant by SQL, and then what are the types and what are the queries also used into the SQL, and the history of the SQL are see in the today's session. So let's start. The first we see the database. What is meant by database? The database, we can store the all these data into the database. It is called to database, and this communicate with the database. We can use the structure query language. This structure query language also we can call as sequels. The sequels means we can sequels is generated into the 1970. This is invented by to the James invented by to the CS code. This CS code will be declared. CS code will be generated to the structure query language. To the first we perform the relational data models, and after this the relational data models we can this used to the this will be used to CS code, and this will be second we can implement it by to the SQL, Microsoft and others to the into the development. The first name of the sequels is a structure English language are used to the first invention of the structure query language. After the structure query language we can create it. The next advanced name is SQL is the today's name is SQL are used into the most of the cases. Then the other is to then other words to into the SQL. All these word and clauses are present into the SQL is English through the English language. This is also we can see this select, from, insert, delete, etc. are present into the all these clauses and constraint are present into the into the SQL are into the present into the English language. So we can see the what is mean by DBMS. The first we can see the what is mean by DBMS. DBMS is a database management system. This is a database management system. We can store the data into the random access. Randomly means it is not provided any sequence, and it is not provide any relation between the data stored into the RDBMS. This RDBMS we can use to the insert files. Now what is meant by insert files? We can insert the file into the columns, and other is insert data, delete data, and insert file, delete file, and various types of the operation are performed to the DBMS. And this DBMS we can does not store any relational data models into the DBMS. It is a random data stored into the DBMS and RDBMS. Then the second form of the SQL is stored into the RDBMS. This RDBMS we can call as a relational database data model. This relational data model we can store into the data into the tabular format. What is meant by tabular format? This tabular format we can store the data into the rows and columns. Now these rows and columns we can store the all these data are stored. This will be once is created the primary key to the this primary key is data not null, and it is not a repeated data present into the primary key. And also we can first column we can take a primary key, and other this column to the follow to the relational data. The relational data are stored into the this column. Means example, we can store the first is the employee ID. This employee ID is also present to the all the data to the employee ID are present to the these columns. And second column we can store the student name, like first name, last name, and also this first name we can store the student first name, and then we can store the second column we can store the student last name. And also we can create any other column is to the mark. This name is mark. We can store the all this data into the present into this column is to the student's mark. It is also used to the simply we can create the column. How to use the query to create the columns? The first we can see the how to create the table into the SQL. This is a query of the create the table into SQL. The first we can the first we can create table, and this create table we can assign a bracket. This bracket we can take any ID number. This ID number is we can set a primary key to the take a primary key. And also this data are not null. We can create a null key are used. And also this is a types of the IDs we can take, like integer and also character. It also we can take into the this relational variable are used into the relational variable are used into the this relational data also used to the this ID. We can second take a column to the first name. This first name we can create take a integer, take a variable to the take a data types to the varchar. This varchar we can limit are provided into the 45. Also we can second table we can create it to the marks. This is a marks we can create it, and this will be provided to the data types is integer. And also we can set any key to the primary. We can primary key also assign into the this query. All this is query we can implement it into the MySQL. The resultant we can create a table into the MySQL. So it is all about to the create tables. And this into the Java we can create any we can take some primary key and some constraint, and also we can some keys are used, and then the relational operators are used. These operators we can likes, betweens, and in exit, not exit also are we can use to the find and fetch the data into the SQL. And also we can take insert the data by using to the insert keywords are used, and delete data we can delete keywords are used. It is all about to the SQL. It is a basic knowledge of the SQL. So today's session, so let's thank you and take care.